What's up guys, DarkArmedDuelist Integrity doing a Dreamier deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because this deck is actually suggested to me by one of my patrons, Tyler. And this deck is an extremely awesome deck that revolves around tagging out your monsters into mirror images of themselves, which is a really awesome concept. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like in your name description every single video, getting a signed card in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron. And definitely give Tyler some love down in the comments down below for suggesting such an awesome deck. So let's get straight on into this one, guys. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Neroy the Dream Mirror Trader. This card is the best card in the entire deck. It's a really awesome normal summon and it gets the entire deck rolling. It has the ability, if this card is normal or special summon, you can add a Neroy the Dream Mirror Disciple from your deck to your hand. Then you can make this card become a light monster, which is a really good effect to be able to search out your copy of Disciple because it can be special summoned to your field, giving you 2 monsters off of a single normal summon. It also has the ability that you can treat one other Dream Mirror monster and then choose a Dream Mirror monster from your deck with a different level than the treated monster, and then add a Dream Mirror Joy or a Dream Mirror Terror from your deck to your hand that is mentioned on that chosen monster, and special summon the chosen monster in defense position, which is a really good effect to be able to use because you can search out that copy of Disciple, which you can then special summon to the field, tribute it, and then special summon out your copy of Sprite from the deck, giving you a search of 2 cards and giving you a special summon of a monster from your deck off of this card's single normal summon. I then play 2 copies of the Dream Mirror Disciple. Dream Mirror Disciple is a really good 2 of in the deck. You can play 3 copies of this card, but I have bumped this card down to 2 for some of the other tech cards I'm playing in the deck because it is searchable off your copy of Dream Mirror Trader, but it has the ability if a Dream Mirror monster is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand and then make this card become dark, which is a great effect to be able to use on this card to put it on the field and then tribute it with your copy of Trader to be able to get out that copy of Sprite from the deck. I then play 3 copies of the Dream Mirror Sprite. Dream Mirror Sprite is a really good card in the deck that has the ability, if it's special summon the effect of a Dream Mirror monster, you can add a Dream Mirror card from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card. And then during the main or battle phase, if a Dream Mirror of Terror is on the field spell zone, then quick effect, you can tribute this card and special summon a Dream Mirror Mara from your deck. This card is really good because you can actually search out your copy of Hypnagogia, set it to your side of the field, and then put both field spells on the field, one on your opponent's side and one on your side, which is really good to get both of them on the field at the same time. I then play 3 copies of the Dream Mirror Mara. Dream Mirror Mara is a really good card to tag out your copy of Dream Mirror Sprite into because it has the ability, if it's special summon by the effect of a Dream Mirror monster, you can special summon a Dream Mirror monster from your hand except another copy of this card, which is a really good effect if you have one of your knights in your hand that you can just instantly special summon them out to your side of the field. I then play a single copy of the Dream Mirror Friend. Dream Mirror Friend is just a 1-of in the deck. I don't feel like you need any more than a single copy of this card, and it has the ability, if it's special summon the effect of a Dream Mirror monster, then you can target a level 8 or lower Dream Mirror monster in your graveyard and special summon it in defense position, which is a great effect. But you only need a single copy of the card because it's so easy to get to. I then play 2 copies of the Dream Mirror Foe. Dream Mirror Foe is really insane. This is a card you actually want on the field instead of Friend, and they can tag out into one another just like your copy of Mara and Sprite. But this card is really good because it can attack your opponent directly if it's special summoned by the effect of a Dream Mirror monster, which is an awesome effect on a 1900 attack point monster. It's only going to take a couple attacks from this card to be able to reduce your opponent's life points to 0. I then play a single copy of the Dream Mirror White Knight. Dream Mirror White Knight is a really good 1-of in the deck that can protect itself if it's special summoned by the effect of a Dream Mirror monster from being destroyed by battle or by card effects, which is a great defensive play in this deck. I then play 2 copies of the Dream Mirror Black Knight. Black Knight is a really good card in the deck, and it's a fantastic boss monster that if this card is special summoned the effect of a Dream Mirror monster, you can target a card on the field and destroy it, which is a great effect just to pop a card and summon it out a 2800 attack point monster. I then play 2 copies of Chaos Daedalus. Chaos Daedalus is really good. I almost wanted to play 3 copies of this card in this particular build, but I couldn't find room for an additional copy, so I ended up bumping it down to 2, but it has a really good effect that it cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned from your hand by banishing a light and a dark monster from your graveyard. And while a field spell is face up on the field, which you always will have on your field, your opponent cannot target light or dark monsters you control with card effects. And you can also target cards on the field up to the number of face-up field spells on the field and banish them. And you can only use effect this card once per turn. This card is extremely good in the deck because if you activate Hypnagogia, you can put both of the Dream Mirror Terror and Dream Mirror Joy on the field, where this card will get a double banish, which is really good. This card is fantastic as a boss monster in the deck, along with your copy of your Dream Mirror Black Knight. I then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom just to stop the opponent from searching the deck. This card is just a really good hand trap overall in this build. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Dream Mirror of Chaos. Dream Mirror of Chaos is a really good, basically fusion spell that has the ability you can fusion summon a Dream Mirror fusion monster from your X deck using monsters that you control as fusion material. And if Dream Mirror of Joy is on the field, in the field spell zone, then you can also use monsters in your hand as fusion material. And if Dream Mirror Terror is in a field spell zone, then you can also banish monsters from your graveyard as fusion material, which is a great effect to be able to use, especially if you have Hypnagogia, and then you can put both field spells on the field where you can get both effects, which is really good. I then play 3 copies of Dream Mirror Phantasms. Dream Mirror Phantasms is the searcher of the deck and also boosts up your monster's attack points, which has the ability that when this card is activated, you can add a Dream Mirror monster from your deck to your hand. And if Dream Mirror of Joy is on the field spell zone, all monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense. And if Dream Mirror Terror is in the field spell zone, all monsters that your opponent control lose 500 attack and defense, which is a great effect to help you get over your opponent's monsters. I then play 3 copies of Dream Mirror of Joy. Dream Mirror of Joy is a great field spell, and it's just a really good card overall that during the end phase, you can manage this card to activate a Dream Mirror Terror directly from your hand or deck, and you can only use the effect of this card once per turn, and Dream Mirror monsters you control cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects, or their monsters' attacks, except your Dream Mirror monster with the highest level, and this card only applies while you control a light monster that is a Dream Mirror monster, which is kind of a neat effect. I then play 3 copies of Dream Mirror of Terror. This is a really good card overall in the deck. I really love playing 3 and 3 because you have your copies of your Hypnagogia that you play in the deck, but I feel like 3 copies of Dream Mirror Terror is the best number because it has the ability that during the end phase, you manage this card to activate a Dream Mirror Joy directly from your hand or deck, just like your copy of Joy, and you can only use the effect of this card once per turn, that each time your opponent special summons a monster, inflict 300 points of damage to your opponent. And this effect can only be applied while you control a Dark Dream Mirror monster, which is a really good effect, especially if you have your Dream Mirror Joy on your side of the field and your opponent is not playing Dream Mirror. They can't activate that effect, which is a really interesting concept for this deck. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to be playing a single copy of Dream Mirror Recap. Dream Mirror Recap is a really good one of the deck that has the ability, if a Dream Mirror monster you control would be tributed to activate its own effect, you shuffle it back into the deck instead of sending it to the graveyard. And then during the main phase, you can send this face-up card to the graveyard to place 1 Dream Mirror of Joy or Dream Mirror Terror that's banished or in your graveyard face-up in your field spell zone. And you can special summon out 1 monster from your hand that specifically lists that card in its text, which is really good in this particular deck because it can recover your field spell just in case it goes off the field. I then play 2 copies of Trap Trick. Trap Trick is really good because you want to get to your copy of Hypnagogia as quickly as possible so you can put both field spells on the field. I then play 2 copies of Dream Mirror Fantasy. Dream Mirror Fantasy is a great 2 of in the deck, but you don't really need any more than 2 copies of this card because you do have Trap Trick, but it has the ability, if you control a Dream Mirror monster, you can target 1 each of your banished Dream Mirror Joy and Dream Mirror Terror and shuffle them into the deck, and if you do, banish 1 card on the field. And if a Dream Mirror card you control would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you manage this card from your graveyard instead, which is a great effect to be able to use, and this card is just overall fantastic for the late game. I then play 3 copies of one of the best cards in the deck beside your Dream Mirror Trader, and that's going to be 3 copies of Hypnagogia. Hypnagogia is absolutely insane, and it's really good because it lets you put a Dream Mirror Joy and a Dream Mirror Terror in the field spell zones from your hand or deck, which is a really awesome effect to be able to just put 1 on your opponent's side of the field and 1 on your side of the field, essentially being a set rotation for the deck that we can search out or use with our copy of Trap Trick, which is really, really good. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 2 copies of the Dreammirror Tormentor. This card is an absolutely fantastic boss monster that's very easy to summon out with your Dreammirror of Chaos, and just takes 2 Dreammirror monsters with different attributes. And it's a really good card because it's actually a walking negate, and while face up on the field, this card is also a light attribute monster. And you can only use each of the following effects of this card once per turn, that when a monster effect is activated, well, you control a Dreammirror Terror in the field spell zone, or if it's on the field at all, then you have the ability to quick effect negate that effect. And if a Dreammirror of Joy is on the field zone, quick effect, you contribute this card to special summon out a Dreammirror Urkling from your extra deck in defense position. Speaking of Urkling, we're playing 2 copies of Dreammirror Urkling. This card is a really good card, but you want to summon out your copy of Dreammirror Tormentor first, so you can tag into this card. But it has the ability that this card is treated as a dark while it's on the field as well, and it also has the ability if another monster you control is tributed, except during the damage step, you can target a card on the field and destroy it. And if this card in its owner's control and its owner's possession is destroyed by opponent's card, you can special summon a Dreammirror monster from your graveyard except another copy of this card, which is a really good effect. I then play a single copy of Access Code just to pop additional monsters on the field. You can play Boral Sword if you want to, but this card comes in extremely handy with the amount of Link monster attributes we're actually playing in the deck, so you can play Boral Sword if you need to have a budget option. I then play a single copy of Unicorn to spin stuff, Phoenix to pop spells and traps, 1 copy of Blockade Board Blocker. This card actually comes in, or Barricade Board Blocker. This card is really good in the deck because it has the ability that if this card is Link summoned, you can discard a card, and then during the end phase of this turn, add a continuous or a field spell from your graveyard back to your hand, and you can only affect this card once per turn. But the big effect that we're using on this card is face-up spell cards you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, which is a great effect to protect your Dreammirror field spell. I then play a single copy of IP Masquerena to be able to go into Unicorn during the opponent's turn, which is a really good effect. 1 copy of Cross Sheep because our boss monster is a fusion monster that we're going to be summoning all the time in this deck. So it will give us the ability to basically use the effect to be able to fusion summon. If you use a fusion monster while this card's on the field, you can special summon a level 4 or lower monster from the grave, which is a great effect to have on Cross Sheep. I then play a single copy of Linkuriboh just in case I want to use it with the Dreammirror Mara or Dreammirror Sprite to be able to give us a little bit of battle protection. 1 copy of Fortune Tune because you can make this card to help you make Zeus. 1 copy of Assembled Nightingale. This is also a Zeus. Basically, you make this card to make Zeus. 1 copy of Downer Magician, which is really good to lay on top of either one of these monsters to then finally make Zeus, just in case you need to board wipe the field. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. It's a really awesome deck. If you guys have never played Dreammirror, I highly recommend it. The deck is fairly budget, which is really nice about this particular deck, and it's really fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played with Dreammirror, you definitely should give this deck a try with just how much of the cards are actually commons and supers, and it's just really fun to be able to play. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell and there soon come part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.